Welcome back, fam. Today's episode's a little different because I have two people that are going to be running the show today. So this is the only time you're going to hear from me. I'm going to pop in a few times. Besides that, today's episode is featuring Providencia and Zur Oya. And I'm thrilled for you to get exposed to them because not only are they incredible Condor coaches, they're incredible people doing beautiful work out in the world. And so if you're looking for a sober coach, someone that is psychedelic informed, working in this space, helping people kind of bridge that gap of sobriety and what does that mean in the psychedelic space and the healing space, Providencia is your person. And if you've been looking for someone that can get that mind, body, somatic exploration, Zur is all about you. From hypnotist to kink to rope journeys to psychedelic informed, so many aspects of these two, it makes my heart sing. And these are only two of 160 or so coaches at this point. I know they're going to inspire you as much as they inspire me. And you already know if it feels like magic, it works like science. Compathogenics was born out of the pure inspiration of nature, deep respect for healing wisdom of plants and master teachers all over the world, and are really calling for a more head-heart harmonizing experience. Compathogenics is a brand that we love and adore. If you've been looking for a microdosing protocol that is legal, check them out. Be sure to read all of the terms and conditions. There are contraindications and medical things you need to know. They gifted us at our live event so that our attendees could experience the magic of Ka. And with no further ado, because you already know, this episode is going to be fire. So let's get it started.
Whether you're a life coach, therapist, biohacker, invested in wellness, or in the healthcare profession, if you have an intention to work in psychedelic spaces, you're in the right place then. If you're called, get involved. But first, get informed. Let's talk the 4 N's: intake, intention, in-space integration. Leading to deeper transformations. Psychedelic Coach Podcast, Talk Cole. Walk you through the process, it's all possible. Leave space for the follow through. Most importantly, integration is not optional.
So let's get into this healing. Let's get into this work.
Let's get into this work. Welcome, everybody. This is the Condor approach going live.
Is the Condor approach going live?
Yeah, with Providencia and Zur.
And Zur.
Hey.
Hey.
So we are bouncing around because we are thriving in the space of communicating and getting our voices out to the masses. So Ty and Cole saw fit to offer us this space.
I don't know. I guess we just spicy with it, ain't we? Yeah. I ain't even mad.
This today.
Today was amazing. So we're live in Austin, Texas. This is, for some people in Austin, Texas, this is their first Condor approach.
Yes.
This is my second Condor approach. And so we're still learning and growing in this area, but we're kind of leaning into a space that I think we both work in really well, which is chatting and interviewing and talking to people, connecting.
And, so this is I think there's a point there. Like, this is our second round, right? Really, it's about applying the concepts.
Yes.
So we came in February. It was about learning the tools,
definitely
and the modalities,
learning.
but also we came in a space where they were supporting us as coaches and as individuals, and they're still doing this work. However, like when we came in February, it was all like rushed together, kind of brought together.
It was a nice little gumbo.
It was a gumbo,
a healing gumbo. That's what they put us in.
And
go.
And you and
Lord,
you're being visible.
Yes,
connecting and using our voices. How do you feel that as well?
I definitely feel that. I feel like when I came to the Condor approach, for me, it allowed me to use my voice to start off. Like, my whole story was like, I talked to Rob Dale.
Yes.
I want to start using my voice, but I don't know how. I'm a sober coach, psychedelic informed sober coach. And it opened up and it allowed my heart to be set free. And I think that's what the Condor approach is about, going through these different phases. But the ultimate phase that you really want at a master coach level is the freedom to be your authentic self. And we'll get into that, how you showed up at the Condor approach, because you showed up and showed out. Let's go ahead on and get into it.
Well, listen, I think, and so for you, it was your interaction with Rob Dial.
Yes.
For me, it was walking into this space of radical honesty.
Yes.
And people telling me, you've got it. Well, maybe I should just believe them, right? And believe my own hype for a moment and really begin, like, ultimately to be a coach and to be identifiable and to be recognizable and to make waves on this interweb. You have to lean into believing your own hype.
But I also think it wasn't just about you finally realizing that you got it. You also had a container and a community of people that saw you for who you were. Like, we weren't here trying to change you. We weren't here trying to say, well, can you do this or can you show up as this? You came in out the gates authentically, you showing up, showing out. And it was so, so beautiful. So I also believe that you allowed other people to show up in their authenticity even more. Hey, if I can do it, you can do it too. So when I saw you, I was like, well, you know what? Let me just do me. And it was so enlightening.
That's the goal. So, like, for me, I've always been a follower of Lisa Nichols.
Yes.
And Lisa Nichols, she's one of two Black women, or at the time that I'm thinking of the recording that I'm watching, she was one of two Black women to have a publicly traded company on Wall Street. But what she often says is, don't make me great so that you can settle in my mediocrity.
Oh, say that one more time.
Don't make me great so that you can settle in mediocrity.
Oh, thank you.
And then what that does also is, like, for her, it's recognizing, well, one, I don't need my resume read back to me.
Thank you.
Because there's so much more work to do.
Oh, yes.
I'm focused on what the work is that's left, that I got work to do. But also, anybody can do this with dedication and showing up for themselves.
Yes.
No matter where you're starting. And I think for you,
that.
we watched you blossom in front of us. We watched you challenge some constructs, and which we talked about today. We got into some multi-construct.
Yes, we did. Ooh, that's the day one, and they threw it. I was like, oh, they showing out today.
Well, because the first 3 days, the first 3 days are for everyone, not just people who are wanting to be coaches.
Right.
So they said it a little earlier, the construct conversation, so it gave people a little more time to process through that before they left us on 2 days from now. And then we'll stick around for
we'll the rest of the week.
That. But, like, they put this on the front end. But as far as what we watched from you, and yes, I showed up, I did me things. But you did your things, and we watched you unpack, and we watched you unravel, and we watched you challenge some of the constructs, and which led to the fuck 'em.
Yeah.
Like, before we got to the fuck 'em, you were already, like, in the mic. You were already standing up and, questioning, and
had a lot of questions
for Ty and Cole to really get into your business.
All of
which is what they do.
All of it. All your dirty secrets.
But to reveal this beautiful creature.
Yes, thank you for seeing me.
And now, like we said, circling back, we've been so consistent in being visible.
Right.
Like, you have this bridging the gap. Can you tell us more about bridging the gap?
Right. So to kind of go back a little bit on what you said, just a little bit with Ty and Cole, I remember when Sincere 7 said, when you work with cacao, the nut has to be cracked, and allow your nut to be cracked. So when I came in, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't realize what my modality of healing was, but I was so ready to figure out at that time, just show me.
Okay.
So when I was unpacking my constructs, I was unpacking the verbal abuse, the self-sabotage, and was I ready to step into my full power? You know what I'm saying? I've done other work with Queen of Food, became a practitioner. So this was me solidifying what was my modality of healing. And so I've had several people always say, so what do you offer? What's your offer? And I could never answer that question until I came here. I pumped the brakes on branding, pumped the brakes on website design. And OE was like, wait until you get to the Condor approach and then work your way out. And so when I finally stood up and said, I remember the day, I was like, I remember when my mom said I wasn't going to be shit. I ain't shit. I didn't look like shit. I was just going to be a baby mama. And I'm standing here to declare that I am a heart healer and
you get to choose what you believe.
What I believe.
Right.
So when I went back home.
Matter of fact, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
So what we were talking about today, not even what you believe, because belief comes with doubt.
Yes.
Right? But what you know.
What I knew, that inner knowing. Yeah. Thank you for updating that, helping me reframe that. Yeah, because we're still learning. Yeah, we're still learning. We're still learning. So that's what I had to do a reframe on. And so first and foremost, let me also say there are amazing coaches here.
Yeah.
I remember on Construct Day, I talked to David. What's his last name? Abaddon. And one day I was like, I'm in my constructs right now. He said, get out of your head and get into your heart. And he started talking about David and Goliath. He started bringing in the Bible and telling me the real sense and what it is in our modern day time. And when I felt that energy, I went home with something tangible spiritually that I could hold on to. So every single time I did something on the Bridging the Gap series or sharing my story, the first time I ever shared my story with the fuck 'em, the next 2 days I had to go lay down because I was like, I'm dizzy. I just told the world that I'm a sober coach because I had addictions in drug and alcohol. But then what Cole reinforced and reaffirmed for me was like, you can't sit in that guilt and that shame. And how many times do we as coaches or people sit in the guilt and shame of our past? Oh, yes.
Did it feel like a glass ceiling?
It felt like me running all the way through, like full speed ahead. There's no stopping me now.
It was like the glass was so clean.
That
you ran smack into it.
Look, and then bounced back.
What?
And then ran one more time. So it was such a beautiful experience for me because I went home with a different level of awareness of that your story can help someone. It can do a reframe for a child who had a parent that was an alcoholic or on drugs. And so that's when I started the Bridging the Gap series, to bridge the gap between different modalities of healing to sobriety or people that needed help.
Bet. Now, can I bridge a gap?
Yes, please.
Okay, I need to bridge a gap. So what we're talking about here is like Providencia is a psychedelically informed, like emotional navigator with a specialty in sobriety, right?
Yes.
So, but the gap that's being bridged is our sacred plant medicines that help us heal aren't the drugs that the government made them out to be.
Yes.
And they are the portals for us to make radical change.
Yes.
Including anti-addiction, right?
Yes.
So using our plant medicines to really turn around our story,
exactly,
as opposed to what we've been being fed, whereas many of these plant medicines can really solidify that you no longer want this self-harm. You no longer want that thing. And so the plant medicines, the sacred teachers that we're speaking about, they are not addictive. They're, at the end of the day, they are anti-addictive. They are breaking shit up so that we can move forward.
But let's just say this, but in other communities, they villainize it.
Yes.
But they will not acknowledge the fact that the person who created certain programs did LSD to have spiritual experiences. So my first spiritual experience in, entheogens, 5-MeO-DMT was with Toad. And I had the spiritual experience that I was needing because going to the meetings, I was just flatlining.
Yeah.
It just felt like I was just walking into a room, just sitting down with stale coffee.
Still in the matrix.
Right. So now I want to show other people that healing can look so different when you decide to step outside of what they said was a box and realize that there is no box.
Right.
There is no box. And your healing can look a la carte. But let's talk about what you're doing in the healing space with somatics, all these other plant medicines, and people really coming to you for the work. Because, you to go. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. Don't be trying to over here being all super humble now.
Listen, I'm learning to step in, and the plant medicines are helping me show up. And they're just like, hey, you are like, me and Mother Mycelium are really tight, you know, and she's, hey, there's so much power in you. So much power in you. And there were awakenings that I was having. And because at certain point, I was so humble. I was hurting people because I wasn't accounting for the magnitude of my power.
Thank you.
Right? So
thank you.
by not really accounting for all of it and being like, oh shit, I'm really powerful. There were certain like pieces of my power that I was slipping out of my grip, and it was sliding around and smacking people upside the head. And I'm causing harm inadvertently because I'm playing myself down.
Yes.
And that happens. That can absolutely happen.
Yes.
And so what I started to do is awaken and started to see clearly. I also had an experience with 5-MeO DMT. And in that, I actually spoke the words in Japanese, mezame.
Wow.
And I don't know Japanese.
Yes, you do.
But the word at some past life.
Right. Yes.
But the meaning of mezame, when I Googled it, was Japanese for the awakening.
Wow.
To awaken.
Woo!
But what I didn't realize, because that was 4 days before walking through this portal.
Wow.
Right?
Yes.
And so coming back into what it meant was really, truly, I was awakening. I was awakening. And
because this really is a portal. Like,
it is a portal. This is not
what Ty and Cole are creating and curating.
Yes.
It's truly a portal. But I love what they always turn around and let us know that they are not your gurus.
It's about us.
It's all about us fully.
To wrap us.
Right.
You know, I am your favorite curator of mind-altering experiences. With modalities in hypnosis and past life regression, somatic bodywork and BDSM mastery, and now psychedelic facilitation. And I create this holistic trifecta of mind, body, spirit.
Talk about it. Say it one more time.
Qualifiable and quantifiable change to get you from part A to point B, whatever level A to level B. You know, it's just been a beautiful experience to learn the expanse of how these things can be cross-sectioned and creatively coupled to curate these experiences for people to walk out saying, oh, I'm feeling so much ease in life now. Oh, I'm
navigating life.
Navigating life a lot differently. Oh, I received this email that would have sent me in a spiral before, but I instead sent out these words of affirmation to the rest of the team, in which I felt this love pour back into me. And I'm returning to I remember me. And these are real quotes that my clients have said. Or like I had a client once that actually recently who last October, they were sexually assaulted. Trigger warning.
Yes.
They were sexually assaulted on a bus.
Wow.
And then just as of Friday last week, by working with me over the past, since April, between April and now, this is June
13th.
June 13th, they said they were finally off the bus. They had been on the bus.
Wow. Still on the bus.
Since October.
Wow.
And through their somatic experience, they had already had a journey with me, and then they had a somatic experience with me. And now their result was, I'm off the bus. I'm fine. I not only am I off the bus, but I sat next to you. This was their visual. They sat next to me and they rested their head on my shoulder and their visual. And then their partner, their romantic partner, sat on the other side of them.
Wow.
And there was 2 iterations of them. One was leaning their head on me, and then the other one was sitting up straight, acknowledging their partner.
Wow.
And we all together watched the bus pull off.
Wow.
That was their visual. And then their partner grabbed their hand and walked them away from the bench.
Wow.
All together, where they looked back and they saw the part of me, the part of them that was still sitting with me.
Yes.
But that part looked peaceful. That part looked like they were resting.
That's so beautiful.
So, this is the type of transformative work that we're involved in. It's getting
freedom.
Into freedom and sovereignty.
To live free.
You know, leaving behind the trauma, reframing the trauma. That is the work.
I told my mentees at one point in time when I was doing my Sacred Woman practitioner work was like, when are you ready to get off the trauma train?
Yeah.
It's leaving.
Either get off the trauma train or ride it to a town called Teacher.
Right.
And now when I say ride the trauma train to a town called Teacher, that means that you're so far in your work that you can turn around and assist someone else that's a little further behind than you are. Right.
And I think that's so beautiful because as we learn and grow as practitioners or coaches in this different arena, we also teach one another. What I love about people in this container is that we open up our hearts. And we open up our hearts, but also keep safe boundaries. Absolutely. To allow people to let them know what we do and what we won't do. But we open up our hearts in such a healing way that, like, absolutely, every person that comes into my life, I'm learning such valuable, honest, beautiful lessons. And the more I open my heart, the fuller and fuller I get, that I know, like, your friends are no longer going to be the same. How you interact with your family. Oh, the shedding is real.
I'm somewhere between, is it shedding or is it distilling?
That's beautiful.
I'm like, oh, sometimes it feels like distilling.
Right.
More so than just shedding. Of course, shedding happens in like a space of outgrowing and like, and when you,
right.
If you're a snake, when your tank gets bigger, you can grow bigger.
Yeah.
You've got to shed the skin to do that and to allow that. And shed the skin off of your eyes.
Oh, yes. The lenses. You know what I told someone? Coming to the Condor approach is like getting a new
snake. We come in at snake. And then we have to expand.
But the beauty of it is that you get to put on a different set of magic glasses. You remember when Dick Gregory said, once you put on the magic glasses, you can't take them off. And then you can't tell anybody else, what you're seeing. So the beauty of it is that every time I come to the Condor approach, I put on a different set of glasses. That now I walk out into the world with a different level of awareness. My heart is even more open. But most importantly, to do this work means you have to live in your purpose fully and not back down. And living in your purpose doesn't mean it's going to always be easy, but it means it's going to sure as hell be worth it. When you hear stories of what your client said, that's huge. When somebody's saying they're still on a bus.
Right. They've been on a bus.
And now they have their freedom back. Or somebody who's sober like me and I'm plateauing. I don't want to relapse. And you go do Bufo and you see the spiritual experience that you need to have. Because let's be real, every sober person is one day away from relapsing. Absolutely. And I never get too big or think I'm too cool that if your bottle of wine is sitting there, I could have, but you saw what I said. I was like, oh, that's a wine sprig. That's not for me.
And that speaks to the word. And it's, you went on that journey. You saw
everything
and whatever you needed to see to realize, oh, I truly am free.
Yeah.
I'm free and I got more work to do.
And I got more gas in my tank.
And you got more gas.
To help other people see how beautiful this freedom is.
Yeah.
So I'm so grateful. I know we got to wrap up soon because we got to head on to the house and get some din.
Absolutely.
But just thank you, everyone, for checking us out. Where can they find you at? Well, let them know.
So for me on Instagram, it's mount.saintoya. Ironically enough, my pearl is the mountain. It's the 52.
Really?
So when I didn't know that I was intuitively naming my tribe or my my tribe after my pearl, but I just figured that out.
That's beautiful.
Divine alignment.
Yeah.
But on Instagram is at mount.saintoya. You can find me on Facebook. That's XIR space OYA.
And the Instagram is so beautiful.
Thank you.
The Facebook is so beautiful.
Thank you. And if you go to Instagram, my link's in the bio. You can find all of my websites from there.
Okay, cool. As for me, you can find me at Healing Your Providence, or you can find me at Provi3010. Just shoot me a DM. Tell me
10 or 3010.
3010. Yeah, 3010. So at Provi PROVI 3010 and or at Healing Your Providence PROVIDENCE.
Yeah.
And just, y'all, let's get into this healing. The work is not done yet.
And if you're listening to this and you trying to figure out what all of this coaching and with these tools that we just gathered, why are we talking like this, go do your research on the Condor approach.
Yes.
The Condor. You can follow them at Tahfree, TAHFREE.
That's right.
Or Mystical, MYSTIKOLE.
Yeah.
And these are
find your tribe, find your people.
Brilliant bodies, brilliant beings that have put together this wonderful workshop of tools for us to just embellish on who we already, the healers that we already are.
That's right. Because we're powerful.
More tools and you want more life-changing tools, more radical tools,
come
more
get into
honesty.
It. Ooh. Yes, radical consent, radical honesty, radical acceptance, all of that. We're doing it radically now, y'all. So check out the Condor approach, and we're going to try to get back on live tomorrow. We'll see what we got. We got y'all.
We should get them a lunchtime.
Oh, we should do a lunchtime. Yeah, we'll do a lunchtime. This is a day one recap. I like the day one recap. We'll do another one tomorrow, too. This is fun. Our day one recap. I love it.
Well, listen, it's been a pleasure.
It has.
You, Provi.
Awesome.
Providencia, Provi 3010.
Thank you.
Providencia.
Yes.
And it's been a pleasure to dilly around with all this new equipment. But
listen,
y'all have a great evening and keep it sexy and keep it sacred.
Oh, yes. Sacred and sexy. Sacred and sober. Sober and sexy. All of them. All right. Peace. We love you.
All right, so check it. You already know about the Condor approach, but did you know we have a one-day event coming up in Spanish Fork, Utah, August 1st? We're going to chat about uncovering the secrets of psychedelic integration to stay safe, connected, and fulfilled. If you want to discover how to navigate your psychedelic experiences with precision so that every step you take is aligned with your intentions and desired outcomes, this event is for you. It's just one day. Lunch is included. If you want to learn about the first thing you could do when you return home after a big experience, or why so many people slide backwards after a few weeks or months, how to find the right facilitator for you, the process that you're in, what questions to ask, how to share your wisdom and insights with those around you in your community, how to bridge the gap from the Western medicalized models and these ancient practices, your own unique framework that goes beyond just traditional methods or medicalized methods, and how to take your integration skills to the next level so that you can be a catalyst for change in the lives of others around you and really help to destigmatize and educate your community, then this is for you. So again, August 1st, admission is $297. We go from 9:30 a.m. until 7 p.m. in Spanish Fork, Utah. It's going to be an amazing event. If you want more information, I want to send it to you. So head on over to Instagram, The Condor Approach. Shoot me a message whether you want to come to the Condor Approach, a one-day event, or you're not sure. You're like, Cole, I don't know. You do all of the things. I get it. So book a call with me. Yes? Or you can go to learnmore.coach. Book a call with me. We can go over all the things and find the right fit for you. Let's get back to the episode.
Integration is not optional.